Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore, and today we will be understanding the combination of three planets, that is Sun, Moon, and Ketu. Usually, this particular combination happens in an Amavasya, and Ketu and Rahu in the axis can give rise to what we call as a very strong solar eclipse. So, we call this as a Grahana Yoga, but it varies because moon and sun don't have to be so close that the grahana, that is the eclipse, has to happen. And it also can be that it is not an amavasya at all. Moon has crossed over sun and it has gone already into the pratami, that is the first of the shukla paksha, and ketu might be somewhere behind sun. So we don't know exactly where the position might be, but still, usually, when we see all these three planets sitting very close by, within 15 degrees or within 12 degrees from each other, we call this as a Grahana Yoga. So, what are the results of this type of Rahu Ketu axis with Sun and Moon sitting very close to each other? The person, because there are a lot of permutation combinations here. So if Ketu is well placed, that is exalted in the sign of Taurus, in the sign of Gemini, in between them, Ketu gets exalted below. I'm talking about Rahu. Ketu gets exalted below in Jyeshtha Nakshatra and Mula Nakshatra, and there in the Vrishchika Rashi, that is Scorpio, and in between Scorpio and Sagittarius, that particular spot, Ketu gets exalted. And Ketu's own sign, as we have understood, is to be taken as Scorpio. So the whole of Scorpio and a little bit within Sagittarius is a very strong placement for Ketu. And if Ketu is in a strong place, whether it's in that position or in its own nakshatras. So the three nakshatras of Ketu are Makha, Mula, and Ashwini. Ashwini, Makha, Mula, AMM. So Ketu gets the strength because of its placement in its own nakshatra. With that sort of a placement, when Ketu is strong, person will be very acute in thinking, highly research oriented, spiritualistically motivated. Because if Ketu is in Mesha Rashi, that is Aries, then Sun is exalted. So it's a very strong combination of ego and spiritualism and extreme refinement of a person. So I'll not go into every detail of every placement into every Rashi. It is a very detailed thing, but still, if Sun is strong and Ketu is also strong, because most of the exaltation position of Sun or own house of Sun, you have nakshatra of Ketu. So, Ketu's nakshatras fall in Agni Tattva Rashis, Mesha, Simha, and Dhanur Rashi. So, all three are Agni. So these Agni Tattva Rashis, which will give the power to Ketu, is also to be here. We should also understand that the Surya's nakshatras also come there. Kritika on the edge, Uttara Palguni on the edge, and Uttara Ashada on the edge. So, Sun very close to Ketu in these three signs will also be in a favorable position if it is sitting in its own nakshatra. So, if Sun and Ketu are very strong in the chart with a okay moon, then these people will do fantastically well, very positive position, but they will also be very rude, harsh. Their speech will not be in compliance with normal, softness, the humbleness, but they will be doing very good service in the public. Their thinking will be very acute, as I said. They will be into research, they will be into service, they will be into politics, they will be into very good ethical services, moral politicians. So, what if it becomes in such a way that Ketu is negatively strong and Sun and Moon are weak in the chart? Negatively strong in the sense that, let us say that we'll put Ketu now in Mrigashira Nakshatra or in the placement where Rahu gets exalted. It is negative now, Ketu. It is not weak, but sometimes it becomes strong in such places. So when it is strong there and we have sun and moon placed there with moon exalted in the Vrishab Rashi, the mind is very strong, but the body is weak because the constitution is represented by sun. So when we do the combinations, we should understand which planet is strong. First, we should do the analysis and then put the combination and understand which planet is close by to the other planet. Put those Venn diagrams of the orb of influence. For Ketu, I do not take any orb because it takes everything inside. It's something like a black hole. So for sun, I take the orb of 15 degrees on either side. For moon, I take the orb of 12 degrees on either side. So you put this Venn diagram and you see whether the planets are having an interchange of, their mutual influences, or the orb of influence is having an interaction. So the more the interaction, the more the conjunction. So people who have weak sun, a, a strong moon and a weak Ketu, these people are very stubborn, extremely stubborn. If all the three are weak, then these people, you can call them a dunce, where they are foolish and naive enough to get fooled by the whole society. The society is here, they are most of the people. I'm not telling that the whole society is thieving others or robbing others or cheating others, but you know how this society is posited now. So if you are not aware of the place where you are, and if you are not aware of the situation where you are, you can easily be robbed, conned, thieved. So if all these three are weak, the consciousness, the mind, and the acute observation, strength of observation, which is Ketu, will all fall down. So that means you can be easily conned. So the ego of Sun and the stubbornness of Ketu can give these people perseverance into industries, hard working facilities. They do not want that much of great facilities, or what we call as a carpet welcome. No, they want their job done and they are more workaholics. They work a lot. They are not bothered about the hours, but they are bothered about their job. Their finesse is superb. So they do their work very well. The other way around, when sun and Ketu are weak, these people don't want to work at all. So they want to take things easy, careless, carefree. They happily want to enjoy whatever they get. They are not bothered about achievements, goals. So very go easy, careless type of an attitude. So if we go into the medical astrology for this particular combination, it's very important to understand hypertension, hypotension. Both can happen depending on the strength of Ketu and Sun. Blood inconsistencies, that is, the clots can develop unnecessarily because the moon is also involved in this, and depending on where Rahu and Rahu will be anyway in the seventh house, where Mars is posited, in the strength of Mars, you can understand whether the person can go through blood clots, hemorrhages, etc. So they can get problems of the dental because the moon is involved, eye defects because sun and moon both are involved, distance from father and mother due to various reasons. If Ketu is negatively strong and it is inside the eclipse, that is the Grahana Yoga, which is very close by, and it is an Amavasya, then the person can leave the house and go to a hostel or a facility where he will not be getting the closeness of his parents. So this can happen in certain charts. I have seen that this is a very prominent thing which has happened. And they can also go through skin diseases, a very important factor, dandruff. Somebody was asking about dandruff. Please tell us when the dandruff might happen. So you need to have your scalp not getting good blood circulation, and you don't need to have it, but because if the sun is weak and the moon is weak and Ketu is negative in the chart, and all three are weak, then there is a chance of early gray hair, dandruff, and psoriasis, eczema kind of a thing, vitiligo, which I explained just yesterday. I think video number 540, I have given a detailed explanation on leukoderma vitiligo, that is the white patches which happen. So, people who are interested in medical astrology, please go through that. You will enjoy that to learn. That particular problem is a difficult thing, but you will, as astrologers, you will understand the small things, that is the nuances of the planetary combinations and how it actually affects. So hives, the different kinds of problems can happen when we have this sun, moon and ketu in combination. There is another problem which can happen: brittleness of the bone. Brittleness of the bone, which is also known as osteoporosis, can also happen in this particular combination if it is posited in such a place in the chart where Saturn is also afflicted. If Saturn gets afflicted, the limbs might, the lower limbs, the legs might suddenly crack, crackle, fall, fracture. So, Ketu means all these types of problems. Ketu Sun, particularly in the fifth house and the 12th house, can give laparoscopic surgeries, can give, particularly, I'm telling you, angiograms, angioblasts, because Sun represents the heart and Ketu represents a puncture, like, it's invasive, but it is not keyhole surgeries. So it can be like, you pass a small thin wire instrument inside and get the thing done. So Ketu Moon can give, surgeries like laser surgeries like LASIK to the eyes, and also can give, the native an opportunity to get a laser stone blasting done for the kidney stones. So many things are there. We cannot cover the whole thing here. So it can also make a person an extremely strong chemist, a person who knows the shastras of bhasma. Earlier days we would call that as the bhasma, that is the siddhaushadhi, and these people know the native medicine, because sun is for medicine, moon is for the chemicals, and ketu is for secret medicines, native medicines, which were not revealed. And unfortunately we have lost a lot of text with regard to native medicine, but still whatever is available, and let us take full advantage of that. So thank you very much for today's class.